How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are talking 5 moves to make, the last one of the season here. We made it to the very end. It's been a million videos. It's week 17. It is championship week. So limited moves to make, hopefully, for your rosters. Hopefully you're not making sweeping changes. And if you are, I don't know what league you're playing where you can make monumental changes this late in the season. But we got 5 for you, mainly some starts. We'll get into it. Before we do, guys, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Obviously, over 1,000 of you do now, so keep that number going. Follow us on Twitter, drop questions, comments, all that stuff below, and we'll answer you. Love to interact with you guys, so thank you for that. On top of it all, we are releasing a Patreon page here. I think it's going to be the start of the new year, so check it out. We will make sure to drop that link as soon as it goes live in all of our video descriptions, so be aware. All right, let's get into it. Last one of the season here. Let's do it. Number 1 on our list, add Dare Ogunbowale. Obviously, James Robinson has a torn Achilles, which is just, that's killer. This late in the season for a guy, again, a undrafted free agent, has just had a spectacular start to his career, now has to deal with a painful recovery. Travis Etienne next season sets up really well now. But the last man standing is now Dare Ogunbowale. Saw the majority of touches and snaps. And let me be clear, I'm not saying pick him up and he's a must start. I am saying pick him up because with COVID still running through the NFL, who knows who's going to get, eliminated or, be forced to miss the championship week here. I know Marlon Mack just tested positive, which means Jonathan Taylor could land on that list. So Dare Ogunbowale is a great backup option if you start missing out on your studs or guys that are just, getting ravaged by COVID. So Ogunbowale is a guy, if you're in a pinch, I think you can start him this week, whether it's in the finals, the third place game, your toilet bowl, if you're unfortunately there. Just a good backup option. Moving on, we have start Ronald Jones. Obviously, he was the obvious start last week. We wanted to point that out. I'm going to do it again. I don't care who they're playing. Ronald Jones is going to be the lead back for this offense. We saw it last week. Keyshawn Vaughn did get touches, and that's fine. Ronald Jones was still the main running back here. Was he great? Absolutely not. But he found the end zone, which in a Tom Brady-led offense, that's very, very likely every single week, even without Mike Evans, even without Chris Godwin. Ronald Jones is going to come in as a high-end RB2 yet again. If you have him and you were lucky enough to scoop him up or added him when we were telling you to start scooping up handcuffs, week 13, 14, then Ronald Jones is a lock in your lineup, I think, pretty much regardless of the team. And on to another running back that has inexplicably become fantasy relevant once again. It is Devin Singletary. He has been the lead back now 3 straight weeks. It is his backfield. Although he did not play, 90% of snaps like we saw the last 2 weeks. He was down around 65%. Still, if he's getting red zone work, which he did, if he's getting pass catching work, which he did, Devin Singletary is a fantastic option and is in a phenomenal matchup. The Bills are going to absolutely kick the crap out of the Falcons. There's no way around that. Hopefully there's no way around that, I should say. But Devin Singletary is going to be a key piece in that massacre. So Devin Singletary, if you have him, comes in as, again, a top 20 running back and a guy, if you have him and held on to him throughout the obscenely terrible start to the year, he's now a locked and loaded RB2. Moving now to another wide receiver that we've been giving a little bit of praise to the last couple of weeks. I'm going back to him. Start Amon-Ra St. Brown. He just balled out with Tim Boyle. He's been great with Jared Goff. You have to play him. There's really no other way around it. He gets Seattle, which is a so-so matchup, but the volume, what are you going to do with the volume? You can't ignore it. He is a guy that's pretty much going to see 10 plus targets no matter what. Jared Goff is back. He already cleared protocol, so that's another bump. Or, he stays level, whatever you want to call it. Amon-Ra St. Brown has become a locked and loaded wide receiver 2. You have to start him. It's tough because there's going to be people looking at him or DK Metcalf. And it's insane to think it's come to that, but I'm going to play Amon-Ra St. Brown over DK Metcalf. Hopefully that's not the decision you're making, but just based on track record and how things are trending, that's what you have to do. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, mid-level wide receiver 2, got to start him this week. And to close us out, start your studs. And by that, I mean start the players that have been, that are high-name players that have been consistent or good the last couple of weeks. I mentioned DK Metcalf. I'm not saying you have to sit him. He's still a wide receiver 2 to me. I'm just saying I'm playing Amon-Ra St. Brown over him. But this is what I've talked about this all season. It's the stupid test. Are you going to feel dumb if you sit DK Metcalf, in favor of some other player that is not on a historic tear like Amon-Ra St. Brown? Or are you going to feel dumb if he's on your bench and he goes off? Are you going to feel stupid if you lose and he's in your lineup? Probably not. Are you going to regret it if one of, I think one of the best receivers in the NFL goes off in a great matchup? Yeah, you're going to feel dumb. So start your studs. DK Metcalf just happens to be the example I'm using here. Good players perform. It's just is what it is. There's no nuance. There's no, data to back it up, but I trust my studs in these must-win games, and obviously that's what it is in the final week of the season. All right, guys, that is all I have for you. Again, remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, questions, comments, drop them below, and then again, keep an eye out for that Patreon. It's going to be under 14 personnel on Patreon if you just want to keep checking it out to see when it drops. Follow us on Twitter, and you'll get that announcement. Maybe we'll make a post on YouTube as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.